Hello, my name is Lena Taylor. I'm a student at Full Sail University for game design, and I'm here to talk about Project Eggbert in this developer log. So, without getting into too much personal detail, I've struggled a lot with my mental health in the past few years. So while I've excelled at school, I haven't been doing a lot on the side, and I wanted to fix that by doing a new project. So I dug up this old project from high school called Eggbert. It's a concept I made with my friend Zane about this little penguin that's in the shape of a ball. And I wanted to finally create this project in order to, like I said, uh, get some practice in and also spend more time with my friend. So, I'm now making a game about a bouncing ball. I've been inspired by the bounce bracelet from Sonic Adventure 2, and I wanted to make this the main mechanic for my game. This might sound like a simple mechanic, but some simple mechanics end up leading to some very great games, like Celeste and King of Cards. In those games, you don't have anything but a dash, but it's how the level design interacts with those basic movements that makes those games so great, and that's what I wanted to capture in my game. So, if we go over to Unity, you'll see I have a basic project here that I prototyped over the past few days in my spare time. The character can move like left and right. He can jump, but his jump's not very good. He only goes that high. So what you do is you jump and then you slam into the ground, slam again, and slam again, and you gain height for up to 3 slams. You can use this to clear gaps like this. Well, not clear gaps, but climb up edges. Um, so when creating the character, the main thing I want to call attention to is the how I actually programmed it, because one way to go about it would be to make variables and if statements to see what state the player is in and how it needs to perform. So I might have variables called is jumping or is grounded or is slamming. But instead, I wanted to use a concept from Full Sail that I learned called state machines. So what that means is that instead of being driven by behavior, um, the script is driven by whatever state the game object's in and behaves accordingly. So if we go into Visual Studio, we'll see this player base stat that does not inherit from mono behavior. That's important. It's an abstract class, it has abstract methods, enter state, and update. And then I made a couple of classes that inherit from this class that have the functionality in that state. For I should look at grounded. Excuse me. For example, in the grounded state, as soon as the player is grounded, they will their slam index will be cleared, meaning that they won't gain height the next time they slam. Like it'll be the first slam, more or less, in the combo. And then if they press jump button, if they press the jump button, they'll go into jump. And if they're not actually touching anything, which we'll get to in a second, they'll go into the falling state. And we can look in the player controller to see how this is all set up. So what I've done is here in the declaration for all my variables and whatnot, I created a player base state by the name of current state, as well as an accessor for it. And then I made read-only variables for all the other states that my player will be able to be in, and created new instances of them. Um, then, if we go to start, we'll see that as soon as this character is activated, or yeah, you know what start is, it'll transition to the grounded state. And transition to state, as you see, it just puts the current state into the state that's passed in, and it calls that state enter state function, which is how I know that every time I enter grounded, this is going to activate. And then in update, I did a circle cast to make sure there's nothing under the player, which is kind of like a ray cast, but it's in the shape of a circle instead of a line. And I do it in here in the player controller because I want all my states to have access to this information. Um, then I call the current state update function in update, so this is also being called every frame, like in the grounded, as long as it's in the grounded state. And then I do my move player functionality, which is just as simple as, hey, let's add force depending on the horizontal input of the player, and let's clamp that force, or clamp the player's speed so they don't go too fast in any one direction. Um, so that's the state of this project right now. It's very simple, but like I said, I've only had a day or two in my spare time to make this. I hope to expand upon this with new mechanics that I'll be testing, and I will present those in future devlogs. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.